Let's bring in Helima Croft this morning here at Post 9, RBC Capital Markets head of commodity strategy, who's been watching this all week long. Helima, good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
What does this tell you?
I mean, this is an off-ramp for President Trump. I mean, help is not on the way. I think that we have sanctioned almost everything in Iran up to this point. Like, Ali Larijani is a very important regime figure. But the question is, does this really change the behavior of the Iranian government? Probably not. I mean, repression has potentially worked for now in Iran in terms of protests petering out. But the fundamental economic and social grievances remain. And so we could see another wave of protest in the coming months. And again, the question will be, what is the president's red line? Also, he drew a red line in Mar-a-Lago over the missile program. And so what if we don't see progress on the missile program? What if they continue to replenish their arsenal there? Again, that was another red line. So I don't think the Iran story is done for the year. I think we will get another chapter of it, but potentially done for the coming weeks.
Why do you think he's not prepared to go into Iran and do what he did in Venezuela?
I think the question is, can you do everything everywhere all at once? I mean, this is a major undertaking in Venezuela. We have essentially said we will run Venezuela. And that is a very big endeavor from a financial standpoint, security standpoint. Venezuela is basically a failed state. And the question is, did we have the military assets to quickly do a major operation in Iran? Did we have an opposition figure that we thought we could work with or wanted to work with if the regime fell? I think neighboring countries in the region were concerned about a chaotic transition, fragmentation there. So I think for President Trump, he decided basically to stand down on this one.
Plus, competing priorities. You mentioned Venezuela, but it's clear that this Greenland meeting with the Danish prime minister yesterday did not go well. That's a priority for this White House.
That's a priority. I mean, if you look at the national security strategy for the White House that they unveiled in December, huge emphasis on Western Hemisphere. That is where they want to prioritize. Venezuela fits that. Greenland fits that. I think Secretary of State Marco Rubio is also focused on Cuba. And the question is the Middle East the top priority? In that strategy, they basically said, well, we did the strikes in June. It worked well. We have good relations with Gulf nations. Middle East was kind of deprioritized. It only went up the radar in terms of the protest. And so the question is, again, if we see more protests this year, if we have more activity on the missile program, is President Trump going to have to think about red lines again?
Yeah. And what would it look like in terms of really embracing some sort of opposition, I guess, becomes... It's one thing to drop bombs, even on government buildings, and conceivably kill some of the leadership, but it's not clear to me what takes their place.
I think that is the question that may have given the White House pause, is what comes after the Supreme Leader. Do you end up with an IRGC, a Revolutionary Guard government that kind of cuts a deal with Washington the way the Venezuelan military did? Do you have basically the old regime surviving? Do you have
there's the exiled crown prince, who they chant his name.
But it was interesting that President Trump was like, nice guy, but, you know.
Might not have the juice.
Yeah, I mean,
which is interesting, too, because it was the same sort of thing. Everyone thought that he would back Maria Corina Machado, and
whom he's meeting with today.
Right, after she won the Nobel Prize, after there was this daring operation to get her to Norway. And so it is interesting, the question about, like, what is the preferred regime change? Is it someone that's more like a Sisi in Egypt, you know, a strong man that can work with U.S. interest, and not as much of an emphasis on democracy promotion?